Dave. I'm going to invite you to join with me in watching about a 5-minute video here just in a second. It's by Pete Seeger singing. Some of you may know him, some of the younger adults may not, but he was back in my day when I was a teenager and a young adult growing up. He's a folk singer, songwriter, and an activist. And we have a video of him, and I think it's along with Johnny Cash coming in later, where Pete sings the song, "It Takes a Worried Man." And I want you to enjoy that. I apologize to the choir because Holy said because of some technical difficulty it won't come up on the monitor. So if you'd like to see it and you want to move out front here with folks, you're welcome to do that. But if you can twist your head and see it, that's fine. Bob, if you'll turn the lights off back there, and Eddie, if you'll get them here, we're ready, Holy, whenever you are. I asked you to watch that video for one reason. Habakkuk is a worried man. And he's singing a worried song. And he's singing that worried song to God. Now I can lie to you and tell you I never worry. I can say, oh, I don't worry, I'm just concerned. And many times that's the truth. But there's not a one of us in here this morning who doesn't worry at times. Habakkuk's a worried man, and he's singing a worried song to God. Oh Lord, he says, how long shall I cry for help and you'll not listen? He gives us the impression that God is distant and distracted and just disinterestedly cruising along. Why, he says, do you make me see wrongdoing and look at trouble? Destruction and violence are before me. Strife and contention arise, he says. And Habakkuk believes that things are out of control. He's appalled at the culture of violence and destruction. The law is weak and there's no justice. He thinks the wicked have a far stronger lobby than the righteous. Someone's not paying attention, God. Someone's not paying attention. Takes a worried man to walk a worried mind. Takes a worried man to sing a worried song. Habakkuk's a 6th century BC Pete Seeger. He's an activist. He's been walking 40 miles a bad road, convinced that people are crazy and times are strange. Hello, God. We're in trouble here. Right here, we're in trouble, God. He's right there in deep trouble. Tiny kingdom of Judah has been hanging on for its political life for almost 2 decades now. They've suffered 2 invasions by King Nebuchadnezzar and the Babylonians. Takes a worried man to walk a worried mind. And then there's the irony, as Habakkuk pointedly observes. If it's true, as God alleges, that these incursions and these punishments are for their sins, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for a mildly disobedient nation like theirs to be punished by an outright wicked, brutal, and oppressive regime like Babylon. None of this adds out. And therefore the conclusion is unavoidable. God's distracted. He's not paying attention. But God's listening after all. Not going to happen, God says. Write the vision. He says, make it plain on tablets so that the human may read it. Make it as big as a highway billboard so someone running by can't miss it. The message is loud and clear. God will surely act to reestablish justice. The Lord is not a disinterested God, cruising through the cosmos without care for his creation. In a month, believe it or not, folks, in 1 month from today, we will begin to remember Bethlehem. 1 month from today, the first Sunday in Advent, we begin to remember Bethlehem, and we'll be reminded just how hands-on and interested God really is. You know, there's no greater hands-on moment than the incarnational moment of Bethlehem. God is not a disinterested God on a reckless trip through human history. If God's involvement in life seems to be delayed, it's not because God is multitasking and just can't get to it. No, it's because the time is not right. If it seems to tarry, wait for it, explains the Lord. It will surely come. It will not delay. The command to wait for it is such a tough one for us today. It really is. We're often cursed with our urgent need to make connections, to get ahead, right now, all at once. You don't think so? Probably standing up here some Sunday morning when someone's cell phone goes off in the congregation. Connections, right now, all at once, without delay. Wait for it, says the Lord. The appointed time will surely come. And God reassures a worried Habakkuk that he's not a distracted God, but the Lord has a steady grip on the wheel of history, and he'll never be distracted. God isn't ignoring us, folks. He's simply asking us to settle in for a good, long road trip. I'm on board and trust me, God says, for the righteous live by faith. The righteous don't expect to be gratified instantly, do we? They live by their faith in a hands-on God. They trust God to work at the struggle for civil rights. And so the right that twisting, bumpy road toward racial equality. They trust God to be working for freedom in totalitarian states. And they kept the faith during the long, cold nights of the Cold War. I remember, as a teenager, as a young person, I can remember worrying about whether I would live to adulthood or be bombed out of existence in a nuclear holocaust. I can remember that. And I look around, I see some other folks going, oh my God. They remember it too. I wondered whether I'd ever be married and have children. Would life cease to exist on planet Earth as we bombed each other out of existence? Now I worry about my kids and our grandchild and what the future holds for them. Takes a worried man to sing a worried song. Takes a worried man to walk a worried mile. Will global harmony happen overnight? Not a chance. Will missionaries healed today or tomorrow? Will the wandering children return home? Will we be reconciled with our family? Will we learn to walk in the Spirit? Will justice prevail? The answers involve a lot of yeses and maybes. But Christians live by faith in an undistracted, hands-on God. That's our lifestyle, folks. Faith. In Matthew and Mark's accounts of the Last Supper, we hear these words. When it was evening, he took his place with the 12, and while they were eating, he said, "Truly I tell you, one of you will betray me." And they became greatly distressed, reading your word. And they began to say to him one after another, "Surely, not I, Lord. Surely, not I." Takes the word in hand to walk the word of God. I invite you this morning to walk to the Lord's table. Worry-free. Worry-free. Someone says, cast all your cares, the scriptures cast on all your cares from him, for he cares for us. Cast all your cares on Jesus. He bore our sins.